Like biology, we had a good teacher.
It is a transcript to be proud of.
Everything I had, 100%.
Andrew Jones never made anything less than an A his entire 4 years at AMITE High School.
He got his baby, and he still managed those grades.
He also excelled in all sports and landed a college scholarship.
We're going to play football at Southeastern.
Jones proudly donned his cap and gown last night and headed to the SLU Assembly Center to take his spot on the stage. The program even had his name on it, Student of the Year. But school officials took his cap and gown away from him and barred him from the stage. How'd you feel?
Heard it.
Jones and a group of students were told they had to shave before they could march across the stage. Jones shaved the sides but chose not to shave the goatee, and he wasn't allowed to participate in his own graduation.
They told us at the morning of graduation, but I seen like other schools that graduated a couple days before us, and all their students had these, and they still graduated.
For Jones, the graduation night rules were especially confusing since he said no one made an issue about his facial hair during the entire regular school year.
I went all 4 years with it.
The AMITE High principal declined our request for an interview, but Superintendent Mark Colby told us that he couldn't answer for what school administrators did previously. He did say that the Tangipahoa Parish school system has a policy that male students must be clean-shaven, and he says that Jones was denied the stage after Colby himself personally tried to get Jones to shave.
I feel they should have let me march. When I did my hair on my face, it had nothing to do with school. I wasn't distracting nobody. I wasn't distracted.
Others who did shave were allowed to participate.
They need to check themselves. Poor administration.
The local NAACP is looking into the matter.
His robe, I'm told, and his cap were taken so that he could not march, and that is just wrong.
Andrew Jones will never have another high school graduation,
Something I can't get back.
but he stands by his decision. From AMITE, Rob Masson, Fox 8 News.
Good morning, Facebook family and friends and my faithful, loyal YouTube subscribers. Today, it is Memorial Day, Monday, the 30th of 2016. So, as you saw in that video, a young man was denied the right to walk with his graduation class because of his beard. He refused to shave off. So you saw the video, that's his side of the story. Let's see what the superintendent, she wrote a letter. I'm going to read you what the superintendent said about the incident. The superintendent for the Tangipahoa Parish School superintendent sent out a letter Monday to clear up the recent incident involving Andrew Jones. The student and valedictorian of AMITE High School's 2016 graduating class, Andrew Jones, was not allowed to participate in the graduation ceremony because his facial hair went against school policy. Now, she gave an explanation following the incidents that the letter states that Jones, along with every AMITE High School senior, was given a document in April with requirements for graduation participation that included all students must be clean-shaven for the ceremony. On May 9th, a school administrator reminded Jones of the requirement while his mother and aunt were on speakerphone. So I have the copy of the letter. And here it is. So in April 2016, each AMITE High School senior, including Andrew, was presented with a document that included requirements for participation in the graduation ceremony. The document clearly stated that all students were to be clean-shaven for the graduation ceremony. On May 9, 2016, in the presence via speakerphone of Andrew's mother and his aunt, the AMITE High School administrator spoke to Andrew and reminded him that if he wanted to participate in graduation practice and the actual graduation ceremony, he would have to be clean-shaven. Now, during graduation practice, the principal noticed a number of male students who were not clean-shaven. At that time, she gave these students, including Andrew, the following three options. Number 1, come to graduation clean-shaven and participate. Number 2, come to graduation and use shaving creams and razors that will be available at the site to become clean shaven and participate. And option number 3, come to graduation without being clean shaven, refuse to shave, and not be allowed to participate in the ceremony. The administrator also reiterated that to the students that the dress code requirements given to them on the April 29, 2016 would be enforced on graduation night. All right. This is a very long letter, but his principal went into great detail how they tried to get Andrew to walk in the, you can read it on the internet, I'll post the link. But they didn't just up and decide that day that Mr. Jones was not going to be able to walk in graduation ceremony. This is my problem with this entire incident. Some black folks think the rules don't apply to them. Clearly you've been told several times that you need to shave, but you don't want to do it. So since you didn't shave, you didn't get to walk, now it's their fault because you decided the rules didn't apply to you? Everybody else shaved, everybody else did it as they were told to do, but you. Since you made this decision not to shave, now we have to, this is nationwide news that this man was denied the opportunity to walk with his graduating class, the valedictorian. There were rules. We all have to follow the rules. Some rules we may not like. Some rules are enforced that day. That might be, so I find this kind of, and there's so many people who are just upset and angry about this and feel this young man was denied his right to walk with his graduation class. That was his decision. So if you read that letter, you will see that several administrators, the principal, the superintendent, even his parents said, shave and walk. And he refused. This reminds me of that Sandra case where she got pulled over by the police officer and was going to get a ticket. Sandra Bernhardt, I don't know if said Sandra Bernhardt, but Sandra, whoever her name is, the lady who died in the jail cell. She was given that ticket, about to get a warning ticket, but she felt the rules didn't apply to her. She felt too good to have been pulled over as she was minding her business, driving down the street, just randomly chosen for no reason, really. And she didn't like the fact that she would have to receive a ticket for, which would have been just a warning ticket for not using her blinker. See, the rules didn't apply for her. And she turned this into a huge, horrible event, which is kind of sad. So when I'm looking at these incidents with African Americans, I'm a black man. I'm a very proud black man. But I notice a lot of black folks really do think the rules don't necessarily apply to them. They don't like the rules or laws, and they don't apply to them. And I find this to be very odd. And then they sit back and scream and holler as if they're the victim. No, you made yourself the victim because you chose not to follow the rules for whatever reasons. You decided that the laws that were laws or rules didn't apply to you. So you did what the hell you wanted to do. It doesn't work that way. Hope that young man, Andrew Jones, is going to run off to college and have to deal with a coach. He's got a scholarship. He's got to deal with a coach and administrators. And there are going to be a whole hell of a lot of rules that he may not like. A lot of rules. So well, he's already, as far as I'm concerned, he's already off to a bad start. And some black folks say, cheer him on. Yay! You know, you're not a slave mentality. He's fighting for what he wants. To shave off a little bit of hair on your face. Some things are not worth fighting for. Some battles are not worth the fight over, especially something as minor as shaving. But I think the problem here more so is that he didn't want the rules to apply to him. He didn't feel they applied to him, so he felt he could do what he wanted to do, or like he said, he decided to sit it out and not walk, which was, I think, was kind of foolish on his behalf. There's no way I ever did all that hard work to be number one in my graduating class and not walk across that stage just because I didn't want to shave. No way would that have been acceptable. So that's just my thoughts on this scenario. But this reminds me of when I was in, a few years ago, back in 2003, I had to do 6 months on the side of in a detention center here in Georgia, walking on the side of the road picking up trash. Every morning they would wake us up for breakfast about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. It was early, 6, if not 6. And you'd have to make up your bed and be standing by your bed for count. So they come and make sure no inmates escape during the night. So most of us would get up, make up our bed. You're in a dorm, 50, 60 guys in here, just dormitory. 50, 60, like a military dormitory. A lot of us were in there, all mainly black and young folks. They would get up, wake us up at 6. You get up, you make up your bed, you stand there and wait for count. Some of these guys refused to make up their bed, refused to get out the bed, and refused to stand up. So that meant that the guards would have to hold up the count, force them out that bed, make them make up that bed, make them stand up. This would go on. These were young guys, all 17, 18, 19, 20 years of age, who felt the rules didn't apply to them. And they were not going to do as they were told to do in this detention center, which is why they were there in the first place, and they hadn't followed the rules on out in society, in the free world. So then you get into the jailhouse and you don't want to follow the rules here also. Makes sense, I guess. So every morning we would have this huge battle with these young kids, and we'd be like, guys, just get up, make up the bed, stand up. You can get back in the bed. If you don't want breakfast out there, as soon as they count us, you'll be out of here in a few minutes, and then you all can get back in bed. They didn't care about that. No. These guys wanted to raise holy hell in that dormitory. They would lay there. And the guards would come and get their asses up. Literally. Beating them. Dragging them. Hurting these kids. And I would just stand there and look. Because all this was uncalled for. The punishment they were receiving for not getting up out that bed, making up that bed and stand by it, was brutal. And after he got that beaten a couple times, I noticed they started getting up out that bed and standing next to it. Because these guys grew up in households where they didn't have parents who told them, make up your bed, clean up your room, clean up this kitchen, wash these dishes, take out the trash. So because they grew up in an environment like that, they never learned anything. That was the worst experience of my life, having to stand there and watch these young guys get drugged and beaten at detention center. And you're in jail, so who's going to come rescue you? I wasn't. I just stood there and watched. These kids are crazy. Some of them actually got kicked out of the detention center program because they refused to follow the rules. And these officers were working very hard with these guys because they wanted everybody to graduate from this program and go home, not go to prison. Because this was an opportunity for you, it was a probation violation program, or this was an opportunity for you not to have to go to prison, do this detention center, complete it in 120 days and go back home. Or you could be facing years in prison. Some of them opted to go to prison for whatever reason. I didn't understand it. Because they thought the rules didn't apply to them. So when I look at black Americans and these young black guys getting in trouble with the law, a lot of them just really think the rules don't apply to them, so they're going to do what they want to do. It's like Andrew Jones. He made a stupid decision, I think, to not shave off a little hair that would grow back in a few days. Walk proudly across that stage and get your degree. This is my thoughts. This is what I would have done. And if that was my son, I'd have made him shave and walk across that stage with my foot up his ass. He would have walked across that stage just so I could see him walk. But hey, that's just my thoughts. If you like my videos, share them with family members and friends. We'd love to hear you guys' opinions. And I'm out of here. Enjoy your Memorial Day.